KMR, Kyle Mohan Racing, a little bit of a tech talk about rotary exhaust sleeves, and we're also going to show how we pull the exhaust sleeves out so we can swap them here at KMR Mazda Tricks. If you didn't know, rotary exhaust sleeves are Inconel. It's a very specific metal with very specific properties. They absorb a lot of heat and cool down very quickly. It's a very hard metal to bend, very hard metal to deform. I think it's one of the reasons that Mazda has always maintained Inconel sleeves, is it really does a great job of keeping the heat from transferring into the aluminum housings, or in Renesis motors, into the cast iron housings. I'm going to start off right now by saying I do not recommend taking the sleeves out and leaving them out. It is not a version of porting. In all of the Mazda Tricks dyno sessions, we tested variations of sleeves. We tested with sleeves, without sleeves, with porting, with sleeves, with porting, without sleeves. And very consistently, with the sleeves gone, we were getting no horsepower gains, if not drops in some areas. And we were noticing heat transfer and increased distortion and shrinkage in this water jacket area. Now, that doesn't mean I haven't seen a lot of people do it through the years, but per Mazda Tricks testing, and we did a lot of it, rotary engines perform better and last longer with the Inconel sleeve in. Now, that brings me to why would you ever want to take it out? Well, there are different variations of sleeves. We have a 12A sleeve here, and this one actually had a lot of EGR in it. I think this was from probably a early 12A. And then you have the very common in the US here, 6-port Series 4, Series 5, which would be the 86 to 91 sleeves, which has this wing job in here. I've been told that's to help with exhaust noise. It's supposed to be a little bit of a muffler. I don't have any factual evidence on that. And a lot of people who do porting will actually cut this out. It's a pain. So a lot of the times at Mazda Tricks, what we'll do is if we have an old turbo housing, which has the best sleeve, nice, open, straight shot, nice and big, fits in basically all the 13B housings, we'll actually take that sleeve and drop it into the other makes and models, like the 20B housings or the naturally aspirated housings that have these wing jobs. You're going to get better flow. It's easier to port. So that's the reasoning behind why we would do it. And they're roll pinned in. There's actually 2 roll pins, one from each side, that's holding the sleeve in this little indentation. And if you check out KMR, I actually sell these roll pins on the KMR site, eBay store, stuff like that. So if you are swapping sleeves, you can get some pins to put them back in. I got tired of breaking drill bits. You can drill the pins out. It's difficult, and you'll probably break at least one drill bit doing the job. I mean, I'm not the best machinist, so maybe somebody could do it better than me. But we came up with a different technique, and I know other rotary shops use this technique, and I'm going to display it, show it right now, and talk about it. And basically, we weld a nut with a MIG welder onto that stainless steel pin, which allows us to extract it, threw that on the ground, without distorting the aluminum housing. So we're going to get right into it. You get to see what I do here to pull the sleeves out. So what I did right there was clean up the roll pin with a little degreaser, and then wiped it down with acetone. So we've got a clean pin to weld to, which is a stainless steel pin. And then I dropped on a little 6mm nut, and I'm going to run the MIG welder right down in there and weld the pin to the nut, obviously not damaging the aluminum. You don't want too big of a nut. You should be somewhat of an experienced welder to do this. So, hey, it is a unique technique. You got to have a welder. You got to have a buddy with a welder, but it's still way easier than drilling them out. So we've got our surface cleaned up, and we've got a nut positioned right on top of the roll pin. We're going to weld that nut directly to the roll pin. Just getting my safety gear on. And then I've got some side cutters so I can actually pull the nut up with a little bit of leverage once we've got it welded to it. And you can see I'm actually leaving the flange side up, which is also giving me a little bit of a spot to kind of grab onto. Nothing special on the MIG end, just a basic MIG torch set up for steel. We're going to come right down in from the top, straight as possible, right into the roll pin. Now it looks like we got it pretty good. We'll let it cool off for just a moment here. And then see if we can lift it out. Oh yeah, buttery. Now be careful, you don't want to damage the rotor housing while you're doing this. And just like that. One smoking hot roll pin welded to a nut. Easy extraction. Let's do the flipping the rotor housing over. And you can see we got to clean off our roll pin. You almost can't even see it in there. All right, we got our roll pin cleaned up, wiped down so it's not greasy. Dropping our 6mm nut on there. And we're going to do the same procedure now on the opposing side. If we have good luck, it'll come right out like the other one. Welding mask on, gloves, safety gear. And it's really important to come right down from the top. You want to come square as possible. Otherwise, you don't get good purchase on the roll pin. Aiming right down from the top. That one looked pretty good. That might have been better than the first one. We'll see right now. So, oh yeah. And again, I mean, this housing is actually not one I'm keeping, but I still prefer not to damage things. It's good practice. And you can see, got it out, relatively no mess. My theory is that when you weld it, it actually grabs the roll pin on the nut, and then as it cools, it shrinks. So it's easy to pull out as it cools down. And these things are stainless, so again, it's really hard to drill them out. This is my preferred method. And then now we should be able to pop our sleeve out, and now you have an OEM Turbo Inconel sleeve. I would generally sandblast this off before putting it in another motor. But these basically never go bad. They just get a little crusty. And this has a lot better flow characteristic than something like this. And I mean, I know people do offer stainless steel sleeves. We even, sell them sometimes through KMR and Mazda tricks, but I think there's something to be said just for the OEM Inconel, which you can save from old housings and swap into a variety of housings that maybe don't have as good a flowing sleeves. So that's the KMR tip on how you get your exhaust sleeves out. I hope everybody enjoyed this. People ask me questions. We're trying to put videos up. So that's where a lot of this content's coming from. It's stuff we do every day at KMR Mazda Tricks, and we hope everybody enjoys. Follow KMR, say what's up, let us know what you want to see, comment, and have fun. Brap, brap, brap.